How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the excuses many people say. And one of those big excuses that people say is, I do not have time to work out. I'm too busy to work out. Oh man, oh man. That excuse I hear every time. Every single time. One of the most BS excuses in the world, right? So let's put into perspective, right? You work a 9 to 5, okay? You have 2 children and a wife. You wake up, let's say 8 a.m. You get ready, you commute to your job, you're done, and around 5 p.m. you commute back home, or maybe there's a task you need to go to a grocery store or something like that. You go to the grocery store, well, you get home like what, 6 p.m. let's say? 6:30, something like that, for your benefit. You eat 7 p.m. Let's say you have other stuff going on. Let's say it's 9 p.m. And you call it a day at 10 p.m. You wind down, you call it a day at 10 p.m. Where can we add the time in here, right? We can wake up an hour or two earlier, okay? We could go do it right before our wind down time, before we go to sleep, right? So there is time, as we can see, and the average human spends 2 hours a day doom scrolling on social media. So if you can do that for 2 hours a day, my friend, you have time to work out. So what I think is sometimes some people just don't want it bad enough, right? Because if you really wanted something, if you really truly wanted something, you would make the time happen for it no matter what. If you wanted to make more money, you would put time into your side hustle or business, whatever it may be. You would put more time into your career. You put more time into study. Because if you really want something, you will do it. You will find the time no matter what. If you love somebody so much, right, you will find the time to meet them. But your health, you don't want to find any time for that. See, that's just messed up. Because how can you focus on other things of life when you're not focusing on health or fitness? How are you not going to give that any time? Then that means a few years down the line, your health will be gone. What does anything mean if you don't have health? Let's say you have $20 billion, but yet you're sitting in a bed. You can't do anything. What's the $20 billion mean? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can't do anything. You can't walk, you can't run, you can't have fun, you can't jump out of a plane. You can't do nothing. So what does that money even mean, right? So, and people think you need 3 hours to work out. Incorrect. You do not need 3 hours to work out. All you need, I would say, if you're starting off, right? 4 days a week, an hour for those 4 days, right? It's not that hard, guys. It seems like this big scary thing, but it's not. It's really easy. But the society we live in nowadays, they just make everything seem harder than it really is. They make it seem so much more harder, even though it's not. Just get up your ass, wake up a little earlier, have a quick pre-workout snack, and just start exercising, man. It's not that hard. I believe that it is a necessity for every single living man to keep his body moving. If you're young and healthy and you're in good shape, and you're able to move, and you're able to walk to your car and back, you are able to absolutely have a physical workout. Absolutely. I'm not telling you here to go put on the boxing gloves, start punching people. All I'm telling you is do some workouts, go to the gym, get on some machines, do calisthenics. Whatever is your cup of tea, go do it. But yeah, people always make that busy excuse, right? You have time. All you need is 30 minutes to an hour. If you're starting out, 30 minutes is fine. All it's about is consistency. Then you add time. You start to love the process. You start to love doing it. So come on. Get up. You find the time in your day. Because if you really wanted it, and of course, there will be people who take action. There will be people who do not take action, right? That's just how, unfortunately, the world always works, right? So some people will hear a message like this and proceed to be like, nod their head, yes, yes, and not do jack shit the next day, or even actually ever, right? They'll get motivated a little bit. Maybe they might do one day and then never do it again. That's how some people just are, man. You know, and unfortunately, those people just die out slowly in pain. Because there's a difference between you wanting it and you not pursuing it, and you not even wanting it at all, right? I learned, I'm not sure who gave me this quote, right? But I've heard it somewhere where your goals and actions must align no matter what. So if you have a certain goal and it's here, and your action taking towards that goal is here, down here, there's no like close, to that goal, that action take, even though you haven't reached the goal, but taking action towards it gives you that fulfillment, right? Even though you haven't even reached it, right? But there's this big gap right here compared to the person who is taking action, who is getting closer to the goal, right? So when you're down here, there's this big gap, and I like to call this gap misery, right? This gap is misery. You want to work out, you want to have this great body, you want to do all that, but there's no action taken from you to achieve that. So you expect this goal of yourself, but there's no action taking, so therefore you don't feel good, you don't feel fulfilled, you feel like shit half of the times, and you're just not closing that gap, You're having a really hard time trying to close it, but it's either two things that you do. You either take action to go up to the goal, or that goal, you just disappear and never let it be. Never set a goal for yourself that you will not take action to, because you will just create misery for yourself. You create something you'll have in your back of your mind, you'll have something where you'll be like, man, I gotta, I need to take action, because you've set that goal for yourself. When you don't set that goal for yourself, then you forget about it. You never take action upon it, because it's not something you really want. But if there's something you really want, and you're creating that big gap of misery, like fitness, like working out, like getting in shape, then unfortunately you'll always most of the time you feel like shit, especially when people around you, and maybe you'll resent somebody that does look good, right? If you see somebody that does look good, you'll start, oh man, this guy's bullshit, man. He probably, you'll find excuses. He's on steroids or whatever it may be. You'll find excuses to resent that person, because when you see somebody else, when you set that goal for yourself, but you're not taking action upon it, and you see somebody else who successfully was able to take action upon to that same goal that you had, you resent that person. You look at them like, damn, you start hating, in a sense. Subconsciously, you just start hating, right? So no matter what, there's always time in the day. You have 24 hours. What do you use those 24 hours? 8 hours of sleep, right? You have 16 hours. Let's say you work 10 hours. You have 6 hours. Let's say downtime 3 hours. You have 3 hours in your day. 3 hours in your day where you're able to work out. And all I'm asking you to do is 1 hour. But some people will take it, some people will not. And unfortunately, no matter how hard you convince somebody to do good for them, what will benefit them, you cannot put the person upon it unless they believe in themselves and unless they can get up and actually do it. Nobody will listen to you. It's all about that person. And there are people that will just unfortunately never get to the level that they dream of, because they're killing themselves. They're unaliving themselves and keep themselves at the bottom, and they're just not going to do it. It's just who they are, unfortunately. Some people just cannot change. They're not able to really be strong and to get a grip of themselves and change. They're just not. And that's how the world is, man. And I had to learn that the hard way, right? So you have time to work out. If you have time to scroll, you have time to train, right? It doesn't take that much effort, guys. It doesn't take it. Just get off the phone, put the freaking donuts down, and start jogging, start doing push-ups, start doing pull-ups. It's not that hard, guys. For the love of God, get off your ass and start doing it. Thank you guys so much for tuning to this video. I'll see you to the next one. Peace.